We just got a massive update regarding Immanuel Quickley returning to the Toronto Raptors as Masai Ujiri just extended Immanuel Quickley on an absolutely massive contract. And this is major implications for guys like Trent Jr. and the rest of the roster. And I'm going to start off by saying I am happy, I am ecstatic that Immanuel Quickley is brought back to this team, is back on the roster. And even though it's a number that's a lot bigger than I was expecting, I am very, very happy that IQ, we didn't let the asset walk for nothing. He's going to be the point guard of the future. And even though this number looks absolutely outrageous right now, as the cap continues to rise, this will be something that the Raptors will be able to manage and ease into their future planning, future bookings. But still, at first value, when this Woj bomb dropped, I had a little immediate feeling of shock. It's essentially ESPN sources came out that guard Immanuel Quickley intends to sign a 5-year, $175 million contract to stay with the Toronto Raptors. Quickley arrived in a trade with the Knicks and established himself as a cornerstone player for the Toronto Raptors. So I'm going to first start off by saying, congratulations, Immanuel Quickley. You deserve a bag. You deserve a ginormous bag. The way you came in, facilitated, did some stuff. But I remember New York Knicks fans, when this trade happened, they were questioning whether or not to give Immanuel Quickley $20 million per year, much less $25 million per year, much less $35 million per season. Now, if we look at the going rate in terms of the value, in terms of what IQ can provide, I mean, this isn't out of the realm of kind of expectations, possibilities. I mean, but still, IQ averaged 17 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, a solid facilitator last year. Those numbers did go up when he was on the Toronto Raptors as well. So I don't want to say anything bad. He's also a solid defender. Again, doesn't get too many steals, definitely not a lot of blocks, but is only 25 years old and has only really had half a season being the lead guard on a team. Shot 40% from behind the three-point line. But again, we can look at the contracts, we can look at the things that are being broke down, and the comparables, to Immanuel Quickley might be a guy in terms of stats like a Darius Garland out there who's making a ton of money like this as well. So this is what the open market value is for point guards like this. Fred VanVleet got up in the $40 million per year annually, obviously on a shorter term deal, a shorter term contract. I think Raptors fans are happier with an IQ on the roster rather than a Fred VanVleet, but still, this is massive money to be dishing out here to a guard that, again, hasn't been an all-star, hasn't been a superstar. It's only really had a half season as a starter in the NBA. I don't want to say it's a risk because I do trust Immanuel Quickley as a guy that can definitely be good, but looking at the Toronto Raptors cap situation, there are some definite questions about this roster kind of moving forward that Masai Ujiri has to make some big decisions. So RJ Barrett, obviously $23 million. He's going into 2026, 2027 season on a very reasonable deal given his production value and stuff, but IQ is now going to be making $35 million per year. We can see his, these aren't the updated sort of numbers, but this is with Scottie Barnes and Immanuel Quickley's kind of extensions. You can keep that updated. Big pay raise from his $4 million Immanuel Quickley was making last year. Scottie Barnes, again, we have one more season of him under a reasonable contract. Not to say it's unreasonable, but he's in the $270 million range if he makes an All-NBA team or gets Defensive Player of the Year. So, again, RJ, IQ, Scottie Barnes, they're going to be making close to $100 million annually on this team. So we better believe, we better trust this core moving forward that this is the group Masai Ujiri wants to run with. He did not trust Pascal Siakam in terms of giving one of these deals. I mean, Pascal Siakam would have commanded about $6-7 million more than this IQ extension's going down. Obviously, we had more need for a point guard. Dennis Schroeder wasn't going to be the point guard of the future. But again, these are all the things you have to take into consideration. But Immanuel Quickley is a bit younger. He's a bit, has that room to grow, room to develop. 25, so not crazy young, but I think young in terms of development because hasn't had many years of reps under his belt as the lead point guard for a group. But this, looking at this Toronto Raptors roster's pay structure, and, I have a Scottie Barnes contract as well, so he's going to be making $51 million in 2029, 2030. That's a little way off in the future, but we have a lot of money tied into different guys. And frankly, I said it at the beginning. I addressed Trent Jr.'s kind of future with this team, and unless it's a one-in-one deal, I don't project the Toronto Raptors looking to get into the luxury tax on a team that right now doesn't really have crazy chances of competing. Now, I'd love to be proven wrong. I'm a delusional Raptors fan, so I am optimistic that maybe a guy like Gary, if we do make a we do bring back Gary, do bring back all the boys. Maybe we'll be able to compete. But we just drafted 2 guards I think will be in the rotation, come next season, especially Jakob Poeltl that plays a very similar role to a Gary Trent Jr. So there's that. And I don't know, just the signs seem to be pointing. Bobby Webster spoken out. I have a ton of videos in the chamber right now, but new news keeps dropping. I can't drop them because there's more important stuff, more breaking things, but there's going to be a ton of videos coming out today. But basically, I just don't see the Toronto Raptors giving $20 million to Gary Trent Jr. when you have $20 million for RJ Barrett. We'll see what happens to Bruce Brown, because if he's not dealt, that's $20 million on the book. I guess that's decided tonight if we even keep his contract. Roughly $20 million for Jakob Poeltl, and then big contracts coming in for Scottie Barnes and these types of guys, and then $35 million for Immanuel Quickley. This is a lot of bread for a team that was overtly tanking last season. Pretty well the same roster. Right? I know we're retooling, rebuilding, but to make this an even greater extent, the trade that was made yesterday, that personally I think was an absolute finesse of the Sacramento Kings, but that was done to take on salary. You don't trade for Davion Mitchell, Sasha, they're $6-7 million per year annual contracts if you don't expect to have a bit of open cap space for this year. We got those second-round picks. We got off of Jalen McDaniels because we were willing to take on cap. So, are we then going to give more? Are we going to put ourselves in the luxury tax? Are we going to put ourselves in a position to where when we're actually competing, we have all these rules, stipulations, mid-level exception restrictions? The reason why the Sacramento Kings made that deal? I just don't think so. I don't think the Toronto Raptors are going to do that. So, maybe a sign-and-trade with Gary, maybe a sign-and-trade with Bruce Brown. But frankly, given what just happened today, I think Gary Trent Jr. is gone. I genuinely think with the acquisitions of Davion Mitchell, with the acquisitions of Sasha, given Immanuel Quickley $10 more million than I thought he was going to get annually, I just think Gary Trent Jr. is gone. And that just sucks because we're going to let an asset walk. I like Gary Trent Jr.'s game. He's a 3-point sniper, but didn't really take that developmental leap a lot of Raptors fans were hoping. When he came in, people were projecting him to Bradley Beal, and we can take a look at Gary's stats. I mean, 14 points per game for Gary, 39% from 3. Again, can knock down threes at a high clip. Was shooting 50% from the 3-point line during January, but 14 points per game, $20 million, and then the added expenses, the added cost of what it means, to bring in Gary Trent Jr. I mean, I just don't see a world where he's back now after this Immanuel Quickley extension. And it sucks to say because I'm a fan of the guy. I'm a fan of Gary Trent Jr. But this deal shocked me. I'm still happy with it. Don't get me wrong. No, I don't want to say confusion, but my woe-ness factor of this extension should not indicate I'm disappointed in Immanuel Quickley. I'm happy he's come back. I think he's going to take a jump coming into next season, offseason, all that type of stuff. But holy smokes, that's a lot of money. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your reaction when you guys saw that. Down. You guys are the best make it this far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And again, if you're a part of the 51% that haven't hit the subscribe button, you made it this far in the video. I mean, hit that subscribe button. You want to stay up to date with the Raptors news. I know it if you're this far in the vid, so hit that sub button. Anyways, I've signed it out. Cheers.